on the radio down. We're live on the internet on Radio Bob USA from the Safety Clean trailer at Bonneville, Utah, and we have a guest with us this morning.
Where?
We have a person that everybody calls Seldom Seen Slim, who's been announcing at Bonneville for how long, sir?
Officially 04, 03, and I kind of sat in a couple of times before that a little bit and learned how back in 01. How's that?
Perfect. That is great. Okay. And in your times here, I'm sure you've run across many interesting stories or subjects to talk about. Do you have one that comes to mind that you think you'd like to share with our listeners today?
Why, I certainly do. Yes. Thank you for asking, Bob. It's been a pleasure. I appreciate the visit.
Okay.
Oh, you want me to tell you?
Yeah, I want another story.
Want to know if I had one? Oh,
well, we got to kill time till the competitors show up and start telling me how they did.
Okay. Well, let's see. I could tell you about the time that when I first came out here, I came out to race. My wife would come with because it was kind of fun and watch everything. And so I kept saying, why don't you ride the bike, Nancy? And she said, I can't fit on it. It's too tall. She didn't really want to. But then we took the ZX12 Kawasaki and put some custom body work on it, and now it lowered it down 2 or 3 inches. And she was helping move it around the pit. And I said, Nancy, sit on the bike while we move it. And she did. I said, Nancy, your feet are touching the ground. We have it someplace recorded. Nancy said, shit, busted. And so she's gone 201, 204, 05, 3 was her best speed out here on a motorcycle. Those things happen to you when you come out here. You just plan to goof around and you end up going really fast. How's that for a start?
That's pretty good. That's pretty good. And you were talking about conditions of the salt. What kind of conditions do the racers look for when they're talking about being on the salt here?
All right. You tell me when to stop. First of all, because a lot of people don't know, the traction on the salt is similar to your living room carpet. It's not blacktop or cement. It's not as good as it could be. So you have to think about traction all the time. Okay, now that we got that done, and a lot of people don't realize that it's not perfect, this year the salt's pretty good. The first mile is a little bit choppy, but not bad at all. And from about the 2 on to the 5, it's really nice. I drove the whole length of it this morning and didn't see any issues, didn't see brown spots, which means the salt is so thin, the dirt is showing through. I noticed interesting middle thing. Somebody needs a new muffler on that bike. It's loud.
It's loud. We figured we're going to have to put up with the background noise.
Yeah.
Hear it? Can you hear it?
And anyway, the traction is good. The race course is about 100 feet wide, but this year there are flags, the mile markers and the quarter mile markers on either side. The blue line is down the middle, which is kind of like the olden days. You'd follow the blue line instead of trying to watch it 50 feet over away from either side.
Oh.
You can use any part of the racetrack you darn well please. If you want to use the left side, or you hear that there's a soft spot up there at the 3 mile on the right, and you're welcome to move all over. Of course, if you're moving, you're not going in a straight line. You're adding a couple of extra feet to your run. I handicap yourself. That's kind of a trade-off right there. By the way, the starters will do their best to tell you course conditions. If there is a bad spot, if there was a spin out,
they would know.
They will pass the word down to the competitors before they make the run. Okay, back to the race course. Up to the 5 was pretty good. The blue line ends at the 5.
Okay.
Well, at the 5 is where you shut her down and pull chute, assuming you make it a good run. And I know normally the blue line would go farther down, but it ends at the 5. From the 5 to the 8, the course is still pretty good, but it's getting a little less good the farther you go down. When you get to the 8, you better have either your woes in order or your rosary handy, because it's a 2-lane path with a single 9-mile marker down there. And that ain't great at all.
Because most of the competitors aren't going that far, right?
We sure hope so.
Yeah.
We sure hope so. The famous times of lost the chute and go through the lights at 4 bills or something and end up out in the mud and come back at 3 in the morning, that's happened.
You know, we've talked to a few of the response people out here already, and we're just incredibly impressed with the amount of attention to detail that they put in so they can go out and get these guys when they're a problem, and they can take care of these people. And so people should understand that. I mean, all the way down the track, you're being watched. You're being checked on. You're being taken care of to make sure that nothing happens.
Course watchers every mile that report in as a vehicle goes down the course every time. Clear the 3, clear the 4, pull the chute at the 4.5. You hear things like that on the FM radios. And that's just to continuing safety, so you've got to watch on somebody entire way down the racetrack as he makes his run. And when you get to the end, it's common for a course watcher down at the far end, the rover, to come chase you down, see if you're okay. Do you need help getting out of the vehicle? Do you need a drink?
Yeah, that's excellent. Okay. And for people who aren't familiar with Bonneville that might be listening, you have a website that you maintain and that you invite people to be part of. And could you tell us about that a little bit so they can learn about it?
You read that flashing light on my chest here that's saying, hey, ask about landracing.com.
It's called a 3-minute promo.
Anyway, yeah, landracing.com is a website where I do my best to have a lot of land racing stuff on it. It's got a very active forum, and you're welcome to go there and snoop around, register. It's free. There are no ads on it. I run the thing on donations only, and it's done that for years. But go to the forum and you can see build diaries of all these vehicles and talk to them, and nobody going to chase you away unless you're a real doofus, then we might. But it's free, it's fun, and landracing.com, go to the forum, we'll see you there. Thanks.
Thank you very much for being here today, and you have fun at this event.
How can you
we're
not?
going to go back to our music. Thank you very much, everybody. Have a great
Make you notice. Commotion.